Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we are. Episode 1
Wow.
of the Jets Up North podcast. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Cole, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Adam. We are 2 Jets fans from up north in Saskatchewan, Canada, here just to talk about football. Right from the top, I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious in case you can't tell. Diehard New York Jets fans.
Sir.
You can tell we've been through the ringer. You can look at his shirt. He's got the Zach Wilson, his good shirt. I'm wearing a Mekhi Becton jersey, but, I think there's still time for both of us to redeem on our choices.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll say that for another episode where we can go through and talk about some of our past jersey orders and see how that goes, because there's a lot of not good ones.
There's a lot of history there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just going to really start from the top rope of just, we just watched Hard Knocks episode 3. We thought it was pretty good. I said that it was probably my least favorite out of the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But Adam, tell me what you think.
It wasn't. I think the first one kind of blew me away. It was just surreal seeing
It was
them
insane.
on Hard Knocks in a way. And the second episode was just exciting seeing them go against the Panthers and the game. The third episode, I was kind of bummed we didn't get to see the rookie talent show, the redo on it.
They kept posting it on Twitter.
Yeah, so I was kind of hyped for that,
Yeah.
low key, because they were talking it up a bunch. I was saying it to you before we started recording how excited I am for next episode, though. I think that's going to be electric.
Excited to see the
Yeah.
Giants game. I
Ooh,
mean,
yeah.
the footage of Rodgers showing up for that, first time on the field during the TV timeout.
Mhm.
When I was watching it, you could hear it was like the punt, fair catch or whatever it was, and then you could hear the fans already start erupting, and it cut the TV. And the footage from that game is even better, and it was cool to see him really soak it up and be in the moment and just really be thrilled to be a Jet.
Dude, it was surreal, and
I think that was the moment. Honestly, seeing the clip back from me, that was the moment. I'm like, hey, he's here now. Let's go. Let's get to work.
And I've talked about it to you for weeks now. Just some more background, because we are Canadian fans, and because of that, we were Raptors fans, Toronto Raptors fans in
Yep.
the NBA. And in 2019, when I saw Kawhi in the preseason, there was like this vibe. Like it's hard to put it into words, so to speak. And I felt that in that preseason game.
It's so good.
It's you just can't. Oh, it's so hard.
That
to
first Green 18, oh my gosh.
Man, that was just euphoric.
Yeah. So let's hope this season kind of goes similar to that
Mhm.
Raptors season,
Mhm.
and he stays for another year.
Yeah.
Stays for the
He
second
stayed.
time. Yeah. Yeah. So right from the top, another thing that I really enjoyed from the Hard Knocks episode was the camaraderie between him and Zach.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
dude.
we've seen it every week now. We've seen the clips from One Jets Drive and Hard Knocks, but like it's literally like a big brother little brother relationship.
It is, and there's like hints of like father son in it, too, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. Like it's really funny.
Literally. No, him bugging him about the headband or
Yeah.
like them shooting the shit after the Zach run against Tampa was just
Yeah.
awesome. You really love to see like already like, yeah, we have guys coming in from all over the place, like, but you have McCall. You mentioned McCall, like even him coming in, and you can tell that these guys they're all in this together. They're all rowing the same direction.
Yeah, and I'll touch on it lightly. I just was talking to you about it earlier, how they're all like really good guys. They're like genuine, like human beings.
Yeah.
I was saying to Cole, like, you don't have to worry about them being out at the club at like 2 a.m. getting in fights or like inciting anything.
We'll have to see if this
Yeah, knock on wood. But it's like it's a good nucleus of like genuine guys, and like obviously like the Randall Cobb edition was kind of memed, but it's like having guys like that around.
You
they're
got to
such
see
good role models, man. It's huge.
you got to see in the Hard Knocks clip where he kind of broke it down
Yeah.
for the receiving group and telling them like what's what, and telling them that Rodgers
Mhm.
isn't gonna like shit, like he, it's not gonna last long if you guys keep playing the way that they did that
You're
day.
so right. Yeah.
So no, that's fantastic. I totally agree. I think from day one you could really tell that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh always wanted dudes to come into this team wanting to be there.
100%.
Then I think they said like internally motivated guys, not guys who are like only like their number one thing is chasing after that big contract that they'll get
Yeah.
or the fame and fortune. It's
Yeah.
like, no, they were here to win football games
Yeah.
and like the love and passion for the game of football.
Sidebar: it's beautiful to see Quinnen not taking the money and kind of running, so to speak, like Mo.
We're so traumatized from Muhammad
know.
Wilkerson, man. That's but I think he deserved every bit of it, man.
And he's like, again, just a genuine guy, you know. It's just a lovely thing to see when a great human gets paid that amount and they like still want to be better.
Dude,
like
he
still has that drive, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I don't want to be out here being like being overhyped on it, but I honestly could see him having a better season than he did last year. Like I think it's a realistic plausibility.
Yeah. I totally agree. All right, so after that, we're just going to touch on this really briefly, but we had some pretty shocking Jets news last week. It was Corey Davis retiring.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
What were your kind of thoughts on that?
So, after some reflection, I think the Jets may have, I don't know, like toyed with the idea almost of potentially cutting him, or they told him like, look, your role's not going to be that
there
big
was
this
rumors
year.
of that, I think,
and maybe he would have requested a trade, but then maybe he just didn't want to go through the whole rigmarole of like uprooting his family again.
Yeah.
So I think maybe he just knew it was kind of time. Other teams might not have been like showing a ton of interest in him if that was like a route he wanted to go.
Yeah. I know he's been bad. Like he kind of. I remember some of the things he said. Like I know his brother passed away, and he's been vocal on the record for that.
He's been in some like darker places,
and he's dealing with injury too. He's talked about that coming back from injury, which I feel like that's one of the toughest things for athletes or anyone to do is come back from an injury when you're so used to being uplifted and you're on your own. It's isolating.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is like for me, it's like. Well, I think Corey Davis is always going to have a special place in Jets fans' heart for that Titans catch. Just literally that play alone was so special. He had some other solid games. Didn't he have 2 touchdowns that first game against Carolina? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. So the one was like the dinkiest one in the corner. He's just like wide open, and Zach hit him in stride.
Underthrew him. That was
not really in stride. Yeah,
but So no, I think. Regardless, I think with this receiving core, that just moves everyone a step up, right? So you have guys that, we just saw today that Jason Brownlee got confirmed as like a guy signing the team.
Which is awesome. I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I also think like everyone being moved up a spot is being overblown a lot, especially because everyone's always like, oh, like Lazard, you don't want him to be your wide receiver 2, and McColl, you don't want him to be your wide receiver 3. Ideally, there's a guy above him, but the way I see it is like, Brees and Dalv are going to absorb so many touches.
Don't forget the tight ends, man.
I know, and like you have like Conklin who's easily going to get like 70, 80 targets. Like I don't see it being a big deal.
I think it's Garrett Wilson receiver 1 and then it just spread the ball around to everybody else.
It's going to be there's going to be like it's going to be Garrett like clear 1 and then everyone else is going to be kind of in this like smorgasbord of similar target ranges.
Yeah.
And I think it'll work, honestly. Like I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, it sucks. I would love to have Corey there because he's so good at blocking too.
Oh man,
it's huge, underrated aspect of his game. But we did just sign like his clone in Lazard. So
honestly, and like thinking long term, that cap space that frees up is so nice. Like if you wanna like that 10.5 mil that it was on his contract this year, having that cleared up, and like who knows, like maybe later in the season, like right before the deadline, like there's Jets fans are saying on Twitter, give us Devontae, give us Mike Evans.
There is a universe where that happens. I'm not gonna get my hopes up for it.
Yeah,
but there is a universe. You know, the odds are low,
and maybe it's this one. We're in the universe right now where Aaron Rodgers is a Jet,
right?
so maybe. It's like, you never know.
You can't be like.
But lightning doesn't strike twice usually, so I mean, we'll take what we can get.
See,
But
I'm not gonna be like, please, Tay.
But maybe if there's an injury somewhere, that gives you such flexibility to trade for a guy who has a contract or sign a guy who
and it's like
need to help.
You also, I don't want to set the aspirations too high because you can also trade for like a guy like, I don't know, KJ Osborne or like Darnell Mooney or something like that.
There was room.
And you have the money to do that.
Mooney rumors I just saw today. That's crazy. So. Yeah, I think it's bittersweet. We wish Corey the best. We'll have fond place. I mean, for him to leave that amount of money on the table, to leave an opportunity with Aaron Rodgers to go run it for a championship.
So he must be like,
you just wish him the best.
Yeah,
and he hope he's in a good spot. So, I mean, Salah said it best. We always will welcome back with open arms if you want to be here, which he always did. He was always a professional, even when we were booty cheeks of a team. So
he always had good things to say.
So then shifting from Corey Davis, and we just finished our last preseason game. We mentioned it earlier. We saw the Rodgers touchdown to Garrett Wilson. It was magnificent. We've watched it probably a million times.
Yeah.
What are your overall how do you feel leaving this preseason? We're pretty injury free, which is nice.
Dude, I was so nervous before that game that something was gonna go.
Were you
bad.
If you could have had it your way, would you have sat the starters, or do you think you're like, you know what, it was nice they got a couple drives?
I think it was good that they got a couple drives. I
Yeah.
can see the argument as to why you don't play them.
If a starter had a season-ending injury, we'd be sitting here.
I would be sitting totally different story.
Yeah.
But it's easy. It's so easy to chirp on a coach when they decide to play starters or they play him too long and a guy gets hurt. Or praise a coach when they don't get hurt and they're like, oh, it was good. They got valuable reps. It's a two-way street.
Do you remember that preseason Jets game in, what was it, 2011 or 2012, where it was the Snoopy Bowl, Jets Giants, and Rex Ryan wanted to win it, so he put Sanchez in, and that's when he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, that was
something like that.
Something like that. And wasn't it Avery Williamson played too many
Falcons.
snaps? Yeah.
Against the Falcons is his ACL. That was
What
tough.
year was that? Was that 19?
I think that was Gase's first year. So that was 19. Yeah, 19 and then 20.
Absolute dagger. But I mean, like,
that was when he did the meme of every week he would
dress up
and be like,
I
I'm
remember
watching
the one
Jets
of him
game.
in like the subway. He was in full gear.
Him like on his bed with full gear. It was great.
Anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
I was very happy that they did play in the end because the start of our schedule is so hard. We've got some dogs coming up.
Dude, you don't want to be going into week 1 with Buffalo or week 2 with Dallas. Week 3 with New England. But those first 2 games, you don't want to be going in shaking rust off or still trying to click.
Agree.
Yes, those moments are going to happen, but that's going to happen for every team.
No, for sure.
And Salah said it. Andy Reid's playing. Mahomes got some preseason reps with his boys.
Yeah.
Allen's getting preseason reps with guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need some touches just to get on the same page, get used to the cadence, have them mesh. They're 2 drives. If that first drive, Cobb doesn't do that unsportsmanlike blind ear hole block.
Yeah, they probably
or at least had a couple more plays in
for sure.
Or like if that pick 6 doesn't happen, do you think that like the offense probably gets a third drive? They might pretend we don't.
I was
know.
kind of bummed when Brandon picked it because I was like, when he picked it, I was hyped. When he scored, I was kind of bummed because I was like, wanted to see. Aaron.
I thought they were going to reverse it. I thought they were going to call him his hand touching it. It was electric though. Eccles, complete sidebar, just one line. Elite cornerback for us.
Oh, for sure.
He can come in and fit every
dude. He's so
inside outside.
He's like a Swiss Army knife.
Now don't confuse that with me saying he's an elite corner.
No,
he's an elite cornerback.
He's just really good
specifically.
Depth.
Yeah,
really good depth.
And that's what you want, man.
I hate the fall off. But this is another little tangent. I hate the fall off of Bryce Hall.
That's tough,
the
man.
TikTok star.
True.
He just kind of vanished, man. It's kind of a bummer, but
yeah.
Whatever. Brandon Eccles is a good replacement for him.
I'd be curious to see what happens with Bryce Hall, whether that's him getting cut or traded. I know there at one point he was cornerback 1 for us, so maybe there's value for another team offering.
I feel like Joe
could
finesse someone for a
dude.
6.
If he can get a 6 for Blake Cashman, he can
do anything.
He literally could do anything.
And
he could bring someone back from the dead.
What did you get for Herndon? Was it a 6 as well, or wasn't it like a 4 or something stupid like that?
It wasn't a 4. I think it was a 6.
And then they signed Conklin immediately after. Oh, that was hilarious.
Chris Herndon compensation.
What was I gonna say?
I can't find the trade. That's fine. He had 1 touchdown with the Vikings though, and
and then he just never played again.
That's fine.
That was the last time I heard of Chris Herndon.
Never forget the one-handed catch he made against the Packers in that shootout.
Dude, we were like, "Yo, we actually have a tight end."
I know him. Yeah. So we mentioned it already. Or actually, I'm going to circle back before we move on. Give me one player that you thought in this preseason really like kind of balled out from you. Could be starter, could be backup guy. Just someone that you're like, man, like he really showed like growth or how he like deserving to be on the team.
Yeah, this might be a decent segue into what we were talking about before we recorded because you pulled up all his stats.
Yeah.
But I was I don't want to say pleasantly surprised because we did draft him 2nd overall. But I was happy to see Zach Wilson not look atrocious. He looked poised,
confident,
confident, controlled. He ran the offense. He looked like a guy who was learning from Aaron Rodgers, which is exactly what I wanted to see from him. I was kind of worried because it's like there's a comfort thing to it, knowing that if he's the backup or if Tim is the backup, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Zach will be QB2. It's nice knowing that if Rodgers gets like nicked up for a game, if he hits like his thumb or something on a helmet, and he needs to come out in the 3rd or something, Zach could potentially, come in there and just
There's so much strength everywhere else on the team that Zach can come in
with
for
the
a
run
game
game too. With Brees, if Brees and Dalva are healthy, or if like even just
we were
having
6
one
and
of the
2
two,
last year with him.
I know, so it's like
yeah,
it gives me some confidence knowing that like if Rodgers were to miss a half or even miss a game or something like that, there's still hope that we could potentially stay in the game and win it. You know,
when Rodgers plays that 64.9% of snaps and we keep our first round pick.
Yeah, we have Zach play every second game.
Yeah. I would totally agree. I'm gonna read off some of Zach Wilson's stats here. I think it gives you kind of a good picture of the growth. He went 37 for 56, or 66%. He threw for 365 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and 90.3 was his quarterback rating.
Yeah, like that's pretty good.
Like you're happy with that. That's that kind of, aside from the yards, the 1 touchdown, 0 interception reminds me of some of those Zach Wilson games where you're like, oh my gosh, he needs to show more. But the thing that like I loved watching him was like, man, he was throwing screen passes like out of his mind. Yeah. He was doing the easy stuff.
My favorite play from him was the little end around on his touchdown pass where he just kind of, and it looked like Aaron Rodgers. Everyone kind of compared
the bootleg was wide open.
Yeah, it was sick, man. Like that's something that I'm not saying he'd missed that in previous years. That's a pretty easy throw to make.
Yeah,
but he made it look so easy, which is something I never saw him do in the past. He never made things look easy. It was always this like. You have to clench your ass, hold your stomach.
Dude.
Like every time he'd throw the ball, you'd be like, oh my God.
Especially because the NFL camera's so zoomed out. You don't know where
it's going. But that time I was like, wow, I had full confidence in him in that play.
He threw a deep bomb to Mecole that was dropped, the one he earned his finger on, and it was a dime. It was incomplete, which is, it happens, but I totally agree. The growth from Zach. The one thing that one soundbite of him at the Carolina game where he was like, but in warm-ups, he was getting all hyped. He was like, we're done being stressed about football. Like, we're done with that. I
love that.
Yeah, that just goes to show that, like, what the Jets did with LaFleur coming in, having a first-time OC with a first-time quarterback was just not the answer. No. I don't think I still think LaFleur had some good games calling offense, but it just seemed like he just wasn't
loved how creative he was, and I don't want to sit here and talk about the past because it's
true.
It's over,
talking about the future,
but
baby.
But yeah, he definitely did things wrong, and there is
I think there's a chance for him to bounce back somewhere else. He's with the Rams right now.
Oh, for sure. I feel like that'll be easy for him to kind of bounce back. Have a lot of glory for
totally. And he has the last name. The last name helps too when your brother's 100%. The head coach of the Packers. So, my favorite player, I agree, totally agree with Zach. A guy who I loved his story throughout this whole preseason was my boy right here, Mekhi Becton.
Yeah, that was my
big
second
ticket,
one.
man.
Yeah,
like,
that was awesome.
I think what Rodgers said in his press conference, if you haven't seen that, go check it out on YouTube. But just being proud of Mekhi and seeing the growth from him in the last month. Yeah, that quote is such a great quote, and I think that's such a great quote that so many people can take, bring with you everywhere. Is
literally to your work, to your relationships,
totally
to everything in your life.
Just uplifting people and giving them the power to be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah. And not only that, but like showing them that they're a part of this.
Yeah.
Sometimes like. Just at work, for example, there might be like your colleagues who don't feel like they're as involved in a project or something like that. But you can show them that they're a part of it, and you'll get way more engagement from them.
Totally.
And it is their job. Like Aaron Rodgers' job is to play quarterback.
Same with Becton to block. Yeah.
To block. So it's like he's talking to his colleague, but I think it's on a higher level than that in a way.
What do you think they got for lunch that day? You saw the clip from Hard Knocks where they were like at the end of the Panthers game, like, let's get lunch.
Got like Chipotle or some shit or something. I don't know.
Rodgers got like some like quinoa salad with some sesame seeds in it, and then Becton has like cheesesteak or something, big man meal. But I'm really excited for Becton. I like what they did with building his confidence, what the staff did, where they put him at left. He got to but against backups.
Yeah, they put him at left so he could build confidence in
and on the side he preferred, and then eventually but like the goal was to start. But guess what? He's not starting at left. We got Dwayne Brown, who's not moving, and so building up the confidence there, and to send him over on the right side, and he looked so good against Tampa, and he looked good against the Giants.
Yeah,
like I'm sure with every offensive line, there's gonna be plays where you're like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
But like. I think I am so excited for Becton to play at home at MetLife. He's never played at home with a full stadium.
Isn't that hilarious?
Because of COVID and his 2 injuries. Like, it's going to be fantastic. The guy's a monster of a man. I am excited to wear this jersey this year. He's going to be a stud.
I'm excited too, man. I think Bills, it might be a little shaky because, like Vaughn's back and, the O-line needs time to gel. But I think once they do gel and there's stability, I think this could be like a top 15 line. Like
you just need them to be average.
Literally, halfway, just middle of the pack
Oh,
in pass pro, and I bet you they could be like top 10 in run protection in run blocking.
I agree.
And I think the problem, like everyone's complaints about the O-line and their fears and their worries, it's been completely overblown. I think like just give them like 2 weeks to gel, and I think it will be good. I think personally, and we have the depth too.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm not too concerned. I love it that Makai's playing right tackle. He looks so good in the game.
Oh man, it's great.
I'm
excited for him. One thing he talked about too is like why one thing that helped him throughout it was his new baby, his daughter, I think, and he said that like that helped him, and I'm like, that's awesome, man. Like I hope he's a monster this year. They declined the option on him, which makes sense with the injury history.
Yeah.
But man, like Becton has everything like to prove this year, and I'm so excited to watch. I think he's gonna be a guy who's gonna be like, I remember those games when the Jets were like bad with Becton as a rookie, but he was insane. I was literally watching him like every snap. I wasn't even like not even ignoring those Frank Gore runs,
Same,
man.
Low key.
Oh, but no, it's gonna be exciting. So, all right, so preseason's done. Here we are. It is the 28th of August right now, and so that's just under 2 weeks. Actually, 2 weeks on the dot today. The Jets
I'm excited, man.
will be hosting the Buffalo Bills in MetLife on September 11th. So when the last time the Jets played a Monday night game was Jets-Lions, Darnold pick-6 game.
2018.
Which that was when everything changed. But guess what? I think that was the prophecy for this. He was talking. His reference was to this year.
The culture has changed.
But man, what do you like? What are you kind of most excited for with this game?
I'm excited to get 4, knock on wood, quarters of Aaron Rodgers, just to like revel in it and appreciate greatness.
Under the lights.
Yeah, in the jerseys, dude.
In the throwback whites, gonna be so
on.
clean. He did look a little bit goofy.
He looked goofy, but like guys like Garen Sauce, like just kill it. They look.
It's just because he's like an old head, so he has
that
old head spike. Like, cause I always thought Zach made the Jets uniforms look sweet, but the thing Rodgers comes in with his long sleeves and that bucket that he has that no one else rocks.
There are some players, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like we have the best jerseys in the league. I'm not like the biggest fan of our all greens when we wear those with the green pants. I don't think they're like the sexiest. But a guy like Zach or like Sauce or Garrett or Brees, they do make those look like sexy. Like I'm not gonna deny.
Agreed.
And what else am I looking forward to in that game? I think, now there's a beauty to the pressure of it because the whole world's going to be watching us.
Yeah.
So it's like, there is the possibility that the Bills and Josh just kind of blow us out. I don't think it's possible given our defense. I think our defense allows us to be in every single game. And unfortunately, it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that we will be in every game, but we're probably going to have some losses that are like absolute heartbreakers this year, which is... It's gonna happen.
I'll take a close loss after a blowout, man.
Me too.
So
it's having a heartbreaking loss hurts a lot, but a blowout loss is way more demoralizing in the long run.
Yep,
that's my opinion.
It sucks when the guys don't show up, and that was always something tough to watch.
And that if that happened, like that means something like was catastrophic, like something horrible went wrong.
That's bigger picture when guys don't show up. That was like Bulls era, Gase era.
Yeah,
like guys
for
don't
sure.
show up. Yeah.
So I'm just excited for like watching like competent football. It's always the worst when you watch your team at in the first slate of games and they get the shit kicked out of them, and then you watch like the Chiefs and it looks like a completely different sport,
game.
And you're like, what the heck? It's like a different level, and I'm like, I want to be on that level.
It is crazy, but guess what?
I think
we're there.
Yeah, we're there. So I'm like, that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's great.
It's other fans of like shitty teams watching us and being like, I hope
Cardinals fans this year, man, when they're watching, watching Tuner, Josh Dobbs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what the Bills' defense actually looks like. I mean, there's a lot of question marks there. Like they got Vaughn coming back off injury, with his age and stuff. I have no doubts in my mind that Von Miller is still going to be Von Miller. But at this point in his career, he's older. He's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
There's like he might not be the guy pass rusher he once was.
Oh, for sure.
I always look at their safeties. You got Micah Hyde and
Jordan Poyer.
Yeah, like two guys who were like fantastic, but they are getting older.
Yeah.
And so like I'm curious to see like what if they can still maintain what's been kept them great for so long on defense.
Trey White and Elam. Is that the two?
Kyer Elam,
Yeah.
yeah. So, no, I'm excited to see what this defense does. They still got Matt Milano, who's great, but they
he's
lost
so
Tremaine
good, yeah.
Edmonds, too. He's so, like,
the Bears.
yep. So, like, I think there's a lot of, like, this Bills defense it's going to be interesting to see how they do against the Jets. I have no doubt in my mind that even with how good the Jets defense are, that the Bills are going to be scoring points. Josh Allen's going to be doing Josh Allen things.
Oh,
he's got
for
Dalton
sure.
Kincaid. He's got Diggs.
Yeah.
He's got the weapons.
I'm not trying to like talk us up too much because I don't want us to be like in that position where we're like talking smack. I don't want to be like a Dolphins fan.
No.
I never want to be like a Dolphins fan and just like target other teams
Just
and be like,
hate
you
them.
suck because X, Y, and Z. And it's
Yeah.
like X, Y, and Z isn't even like, that's not even like valid. But anyways, we kind of messed with Josh a little bit last year. Like both games against him, he was kind of
That
looking
game at
bad.
home was so good.
Like,
that was
Sauce
probably
was in
game
his
of the year
head.
for us. Oh, man. So
So honestly, like maybe they don't score points on us. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe this game is like 17-14 or some shit like that.
what scares me is like for me anyways, I feel like there's been so much hype with this Jets defense being so good.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 7 or 8 reps in that Giants game,
Yeah.
and Saul pulled them out and said that was all they needed.
Dude, it was just waves of pressure. on Tyrod.
That's so special.
Like-
That's such a unique thing. I think
Whenever we play a team with like, that's probably why the Jets beat is always like roasting and taking apart the O-line. Is because our D-line is so freaking good that it makes every O-line look. It makes great O-lines look like average.
yeah
It makes average O-lines look like horrendous.
yeah
So like, I feel bad for any team that has to play us.
our backups playing against the Panthers was like that.
Yeah, I feel bad for any team that has to play us with a mediocre O-line because their quarterback's gonna get killed. Like the Patriots, they signed 2 O-linemen today, man. I feel bad for Mac Jones.
Oh, did they? Who'd they
He's gonna
sign?
cry. 2 random guys. I can't remember their names, but
Mm.
it's like obviously something's brewing over there. In
Oh man,
New
that's
England.
going to be interesting to see how it
Yeah.
shakes out. Their defense to me is still going to be good
Mhm.
with Bill. I feel like you always can.
The
kinda
only
count them in.
Patriots games I'm gonna watch this year are the ones that we play in. Their offense just bores
True.
me to death.
Yep, that was like
I love
last year.
Ramondre, but like.
I'm looking at the Bills depth chart right now, and James Cook is RB1 for them. So that's
That's
exciting. You got
interesting
Cook
'cause he's
versus
like,
Cook week
he's
1
undersized, but yeah, I know that's a huge storyline.
storyline. Last time they played was the crazy Jettis catch in Buffalo. That was that game,
right.
and Delvin had a big run and
That catch was
game of the
insane.
year. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fantastic week 1. I mean, we're actually gonna be here. We're in your place watching the
Yeah.
game. It's gonna be special.
Maybe we'll get all the boys a mic. We can do a live pod.
Live stream on Twitch. Get everyone. Oh man, live reactions.
Yeah.
A little bit delayed though, right? For viewers, but yeah, I wanted to thank you for flying with us today on Jets Up North. We're hoping to get these things out week by week. Get some live after the post game reactions. Ideally, the reaction is going to be not the night of a game. It'll probably be a day or two after. So we'll have some time to sit and dwell a little bit on the outcome of those games, whether good or bad. Watch the film, sit in the ice tub, and get our full reactions after that.
Let it digest a little bit.
Totally, because you never want to record a
Soak
podcast
it
right
in.
from the game.
Well, and I mentioned it to you too. Like there is a lull in the week around like Wednesday.
Yep.
So our goal is to have the podcast out kind of in that lull, so it gives us and anyone else who's interested in watching this like something to do in between.
Getting excited for the
games.
next week, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like they can review the last game, get excited for the next game, and we have friends that we know here in Canada that are fans of other teams. So if we happen to be playing someone coming up on the schedule, we could have a fan of that team on.
Yep.
Could be fun to get their perspective on
It would be great. Nothing too crazy. No extreme shit talking.
No
but
Pats fans
Some
allowed on
light
this
banter.
shit.
Some light banter. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and look forward to what's next. Cheers.
Peace.